A very good evening to everyone. Welcome you all to Global Online. And yes, we are back with our NTA UGC Net preparation for paper 1, wherein we have come up with the last lecture of communication, that is models of communication. Now, models of communication is already done, but as you all are aware that models of communication, there were certain, it was done with the help of installments. So today we are going to look at models of communication once again in detail. So any student new to the class or is watching the video for the first time, so let me tell you that we at Global and Online has started our preparatory lectures for 2022 cycle. Now when the exams are going to be conducted is not yet decided. The moment the announcement is done, you will definitely get the notification on the channel, but the preparation has to be started, and this is an actual time or a right time, you can say, to start your preparation for 2022 cycle. And for that reason, for paper 1 we have class from Monday to Saturday, wherein Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday we are live on YouTube. Thursday we have a specific lecture for the subscribers on the app, exclusively for the subscribers, and Friday and Saturday we have MCQs on the topic which has been taught in the weekdays. So this is a good practice you all will have. So definitely you have to prepare yourself well for the upcoming batch or for upcoming cycle. Now, exactly how this preparation is going to go, I hope those who have joined, everything is completely fine. Unlike yesterday, there was a small technical glitch. So how exactly is this journey going to be? So this journey is initially the core preparation will be for first 3 months, that is 90 days, wherein we are coming up with definitely lectures plus MCQ and then Mahamarathon. Indu, I was waiting for you yesterday in the class. I was just I wanted to know what is your result. I'm also glad. Heartiest congratulations on behalf of Global Online, and all the best for your future also, that is your future professional career. So be in touch. Anything definitely will help you out. And once again, a very big congratulations on behalf of entire team. Okay, so exactly how this journey is going to be with the help of Global Online, you will be having exclusively for paper 1, you will be having 100 plus live lectures. In fact, we have started with new lectures since the month of Jan only, but don't worry, anything if you have missed, will be continuing this till the time of examination. You will be having 100 plus video lectures. Notes in the form of PDF will be given. Previous year question papers you can definitely get with the solved answer key. Mock test will be conducted after completion of the syllabus, which will be again covering more than 2500 MCQs. The details are given, the detail of the contact person is given. In case if you have any doubt, you can put a query. Fees is 2000 rupees, but you can get a 20% discount if you're enrolling before 23rd of Feb. At the same time, we have updated our app to Global Online. So you can see the icon of the app over here. You can go to the Google Play Store and download the app. The coupon code is also applicable over there. This is for first 20 students. Now, today also, whatever topic I will be taking, there were some students who had downloaded the app and gotten, gave the test yesterday's topic. So today also I have set the test. It is free for you, so you can go on the app and you can check up the questions. It will help you to understand your preparation level. Okay. Yes, Indu, I can imagine your excitement, and really God bless you. Maybe your hard efforts have really paid off. Okay. So yes, now we are going to start very well. Every one of you know that we have already completed the communication unit, which will be having 5 questions, and the total marks allotted to this will be 10. So every question ideally has 2 marks. Okay. Now, entire syllabus we have completed. We have in fact, we have done much more extra this time. In communication, we have completed meaning, types, characteristics. Effective communication, we have completed verbal, non-verbal, intercultural, group communication. and at the same time we have done classroom communication, how this classroom communication questions can be merged up with teaching aptitude, and how the questions are expected, that also I have told you in the lecture. Barriers to effective communication we have done. Mass media and society we have done yesterday, wherein we have learned mass media theories also. We have understood the difference between social media and the traditional media. Apart from all this, we have done models of communication, but those models were done in installment, and students were little bit what is not clear, Krishna Sai. I hope today everything is clear and there is no doubt. In fact, the student has also messaged that everything is perfect. Just check from your end. In case if your network is little bit weak, you may not get, you can leave and join back again. So things will be fine. Okay. So yes, in today's class, we are going to focus exclusively once again on all the models at one go, as this was requested by many of the students. So you will definitely, whatever doubts you have, you will get clear today. So today's lecture which we are going to conduct, the agenda of today's lecture is a whole exclusively only on models of communication. So now I hope everyone is ready. Everyone has congratulated Indu. So that is also done. So let's now start with the session for the day. Okay. Now first thing is, basically we have this three types of communication models, that is linear model, interactive models of communication, and transactional. Now whatever we have learned, okay, it is, whatever models extra we have done, they are the part of these models. So now today I am going from basic. So please concentrate. If you have any doubt, let me first complete it properly. If you have any doubt, you can put it in the chat box, because when I'm teaching the concepts, I do not see the chat box because other students get distracted. So let me first teach the concept very well. In between, I'll keep on checking. If it's something very important, I'll immediately revert you back. Okay. So basically, there are three types of communication model that are divided as below. One is linear model, one is interactive model, and one is transactional model. So now let's start with linear model. Now in today's lecture, I have highlighted again the important points, but doesn't mean that rest of the points are not important. Just those highlighted points are much more on priority, so you can just keep a track on them. Rest of the part is also, I have made it very crisp, so you can just keep the notes very well with you. So when I talk about linear model of communication, it is a one-way interaction where feedback is not present. Okay, so now I mean to say, you can get, because when we talk about communication, immediately the concept which comes in your mind is about the communication cycle with feedback. But linear models of communication are those type of models where feedback is not present. It's one-way interaction model. Linear is the primary communication model, whereas transactional is formed based on linear. It means that in linear model there was certain loophole. In order to take out that loopholes, we got transactional model. The sender in linear model communicates with the receiver without giving feedback. The sender communicates with the receiver. Okay, that is the only thing which is happening, but there is no feedback or there is no completion of the cycle over here. Only the sender conveys the message, and that's how the communication is taking place in linear model. So there is no revert back, or there is no completion with the help of what? With the help of the feedback. Is it clear? Okay, so please remember that, okay, this is what we have studied under linear model. As I said, if any student have joined bit late, we have just started the class. Okay, so what we are studying is, today the exclusive focus is on models of communication. So basically, these are the three models of communication which we have to learn in detail. So the first model we studied linear, which is a one-way model where feedback is absent. And because of this, this issue, or you can say this one of the drawback, we got a transactional model. But later we will see transactional model. The sender communicates the message to the receiver, but there is no feedback. Okay, and this is how it is called as one-way process of communication. Now under linear models, Okay, so now see, I'm not I'm just going one by. Okay, so maybe I am right now skipping some slides, but I'll come back to those slides afterwards. Okay, so now first let us go to linear model of communication. So under linear model of communication, these are the following models. So there are 4 models under linear. Now some students, Aparna, I don't know, she is absent I guess today. So first is under linear model, what models come? So Aristotle model, Lasswell's model, Shannon and Weaver model, and Berlow's model. So I'll just clear the ink once again. I'll just write outside the box so that you are if you are noting it down, so you should not get disturbed. Okay, so these are the models which are bifurcated under what? Under the linear model. Once again, I've written years also. Now please make a note, because we do not know, any form of question can come. So Aristotle model, that is 300 BC, Lasswell's model 1948, Shannon 1949, and Berlow's model 1960. Now let's go through this model one by one. Okay, so now please remember, it is very crystal clear. Things are very clear. There should be no confusion. What we are doing? Models. Which is the first model we did? Linear. Linear is which type of model? It's a one-way model. So under linear model, what are the different models? Aristotle, Lasswell's, Shannon and Weaver, and Berlow's. So let's do it one by one. So when we talk now, see, you will definitely, those students who are waiting for the notes, don't worry. In the notes, you are having this models at the start also in detail. Now at the end, I have just made them, like a summary. So don't worry, all the detailed notes are also there, and summary part is also there. So when we talk about Aristotle's model of communication, what are the 5 elements which are very important? One is speaker, second is speech, third is occasion, fourth is the audience, and fifth is effect. These are the elements, or you can say these are the components of Aristotle model. Now please remember, you have to remember them. You may get a question in form of odd man out, or you may get any form of question. So Aristotle model has these 5 elements. Now Aristotle model was the model which is golden rule in order to excel in public speaking, seminars, lectures, where a sender make his point clear by designing. If you remember, I told it very clearly. If you remember the actual lecture which we did on this, or any student who is new, listen carefully. In Aristotle model, speaker plays an important role. Now why and how? Because speaker is the one who is responsible to influence the audience, to influence. Now when I say influence, it means to impress. But obviously, speaker will impress the audience with the help of what? With the help of a speech. Now speech is containing what? The content. So indirectly, what should be very impressive? That is, the content should be very impressive. Okay, and now when we talk about the content, it means that basically this type of communication is made in such a way that the influence should be 100, it should be targeted. Audiences are targeted, and for that there has to be an impressive content. So here sender is the active member and receiver is the passive one. Okay, because sender is responsible with everything. Okay, and everything, I mean to say, impressing the audiences. So Aristotle model is the golden rule, as I said, in public speaking, seminars, lectures, where audiences should definitely be influenced by the way the presenter or the sender has given his impressive content. So it's a sender, that is the speaker. Okay, audience which has to be influenced. So this connection you have to remember. So now, like for example, any student who is, or any students who are taking running notes, I told them that you just write this you just draw this model. Okay, that is, just draw this diagram. So this diagram tells you, first of all, it will give you a clear indication of these 5 components. Right over here, speaker, very important concept, or it is plays an important role. By what? Just do an arrow mark. By influencing the audience. And for influencing the audience, what has to be in place? The speech. But speech in the form of what? Impressive content. And that impressive content itself will show you what? The effect. Okay, so this is how the Aristotle model works. Okay, Annapurna, just few minutes back I was asking about you because due to you this session has came up. So all thanks to you. A revision session for models of communication. Is it clear? So we have completed the first model under linear. So right now we are doing linear. So under linear, the first model is Aristotle. Okay. Now the second model is Lasswell's communication. So Lasswell's communication, you have the components in the form of communicator, message, medium, receiver, effect. That is the sender. So it talks about communicator. It means who? The person who is communicating. Message, that is says what. So who says what, in which channel, with the help of which medium, to whom, that is the receiver, and effect, that is what, with what effect. So Lasswell's model of communication gives importance, or has this 5 components again which are important. But when we talk about communicator, it indicates that who is the person who is communicating, that is sender, the source. The person here, the communicator, is called as the source. Says what, okay, that is the message. Channel, with the help of the medium. To whom, that is the receiver, and with what effect. Effect, it means here the effect in the form of the feedback. Okay, but the feedback is, it is one way, so it doesn't, it does not reach the effect. It means that the receiver should have a effect, but that the communicator doesn't understand whether the effect is there or not, but it should target in order to create an effect. That is how the model is playing an important role. After models, no Deepa, I haven't. So I will, because now little bit I will be getting free. So I'm planning to upload 1 lecture of management every day. So maybe, that will start soon. So that was the last lecture of HRM. After that, I'll upload it. Okay, don't worry. In the class itself, I'll tell you in case if you are present for the lecture. Fine. So is it clear? Now coming up to the next is, so if you see, I'm taking you to the summary chart and I'm taking you to the model. So we did Aristotle model, we did Lasswell's. To whom Lasswell's model focus? Aishriya, I didn't get exactly what you mean to say. Lasswell's model focuses on means. So here, if Lasswell's model will be definitely focusing on, on who, on what, on the channel, to whom, and to the effect. It means these 5 components are equally important, in Lasswell's model. So now if you are asking me the aim of Lasswell's model, maybe this is the question which you want me to ask is, so this model actually is nothing but, for interpersonal communication. If you remember in my main slide, I have written that this model is basically with an intention of interpersonal communication, or you can to disseminate the message in the group, or with with someone who are talking, to whom you are talking, with respect to what? With respect to various situation. So when you are writing, if anyone is taking a running notes, if you are talking about Lasswell's model, so just write over there, Lasswell's model is important from the focus point of what? From the focus point of interpersonal communication. That is, that is between the communicator and between the receiver, sender and the receiver. Hope it is clear to you. Okay, fine. Still, if you have any doubt, just put it in the chat box. I will just take it one by one. So once again, we are doing linear model, under which we have completed Aristotle model, where we have learned impressive content, and who gives that? Speaker, with the help of speech, and who is the one who has to be impressed is the audience. Okay, Lasswell's model of communication, the communicator and the receiver. So what is the intention is to create a interpersonal relation in different situations. Fine. Now the third one, let's go with the third one, is that is Shannon and Weaver model. Now when we talk about Shannon and Weaver model, this model is one of the most popular model of communication and it's accepted all over the world. So here the message actually originates. See, I have highlighted that also. The message actually originates from the person who gets the thought that is, or has the information. So who is the one who gets the thought or has the information? Obviously that is the sender. So the sender is called as what? The sender is called as the source of information or information source. So this is also very important. So that's the reason I have highlighted. So you will definitely get, any question. So like for example, don't get confused. What is now the source of information? Source is nothing but sender. Okay. Or you also call this as information source. So actually the Weaver model, the Shannon and Weaver model focuses on what? Focuses on sender again. That is information source. So you can see this in the diagram also. Now, the information gets transmitted from brain to mouth and comes out at a signal which reaches the recipient, that is nothing but the receiver, with noise. So if you see, Shannon and Weaver model brought up a concept of what? Noise. Okay, distraction or disturbance in the message. The recipient then further passes on the message to its final destination or to the minds of other individual. Now that is nothing but, where exactly the message has to reach. It means that the information which has been passed has to be decoded and has to reach what? Has to reach the receiver. But it was with the help of Shannon and Weaver model, which was not available in Lasswell's also, and which was not available in Aristotle also. It was only highlighted in Shannon and Weaver model, the introduction of the concept that is noise, distraction. Okay. Is it clear? Sunita, just let me read your question. Like management, top communication to bottom communication for employees. I am not exactly clear what you're trying to tell me. So you mean to say that the communication from the management towards the lower level. That's what you mean to say? Okay. I hope this is what you are asking about. So yes, it is not necessary that it can be from top to lower. It can be lower to top also. Okay. How the message is, who is the sender? Now, like for example, if any sensitive information a lower level has to give to the management, so that also can become a model where definitely noise can be an important element if there is a disturbance or distraction in the message. Fine. Now, the last one is Berlow's model. Okay, so Berlow's model, that is also called as SMCR model. Now, in this model, the acronyms S stands for source. Now, source again is sender. Then we have the message, then we have a channel and the receiver, okay, which is encoded, decoded, and according to it reach. But now in Berlow's model, okay, now please remember Berlow's model, what was one of the important thing which was missing in Aristotle model? That was, in Aristotle model, speaker was in central position, okay, that is centered, okay, but in Berlow's model, emotional aspect was also taken into consideration. Now, obviously here also there was one of the drawback, but like for example, let's understand. Now this content you have to remember. So when I'm talking about Berlow's model, when we talk about the sender and the receiver, okay, needs to have skills, attitude, knowledge, system and culture. Apart from that, message in the form of content, the elements, the treatment, the structure, the code, channel, the hearing, seeing, touching, all the skills which are required. Okay. Now, here what was the drawback? The drawback was this is what I told you in the regular class when I took the model. The sender and the receiver has to be on the similar grounds. Okay. So obviously both the people may not be on similar ground. Now what do you mean by similar ground? Now Sunita has just quoted a message over here. She said that management and the top class and the lower class or level, top level and lower level, but the skills, the attitude, the knowledge, social system and culture of top and bottom level may not be same. So that time there can be disturbance, there can be misinterpretation of misunderstanding of the message. So here this is one of the drawback of Berlow's model, that your sender and the receiver has to be on equal par. Okay, if not, then the communication is going to definitely have a negative impact. Okay, I'm not saying always, but definitely if not. Okay, like for example, if I'm talking about a 10-year-old child and a 20-year-old person. Okay, obviously both are, one is sender, one is receiver, but if you see the age gap, if you see the maturity level, it's not on the same ground. So what one wants to convey and what one wants to understand may not have the equal ground, and that may, if there is no similarity, then definitely this is going to impact the message. Is it clear? Okay, so now we have completed very well the linear model. Anyone who has joined late, let me tell you, we completed linear model, which is nothing but called as one-way model. Feedback is not present over here, and the types of linear models are this. So I'll just clear the screen. There are 4 types of linear model, that is Aristotle, Lasswell's, Shannon and Berlo. Okay, now I have taken one by one everything, but still let's summarize also. So this is a summary sheet. Okay, I hope it is very clear, the sheet is clear in front of you. So let's quickly summarize. Aristotle model, it argues that we look at 5 elements of communication even to analyze how best to communicate, that is speaker, speech, occasion, target, audience and effect. So even this particular sheet, if you keep with yourself, it is definitely, it is definitely going to help you out. Okay, so this also tells you that there are 5 elements, important elements. Lasswell's model, it talks about the basic framework, that is one way communicating by asking who said what, that is the message, through channel, that is a medium, to whom, that is the receiver, and with what effect. Shannon and Weaver model, it talks about, see, as I said, noise, which was which was an element which was added in Shannon and Weaver model. And Berlo's model, which talks about the 4 steps, that is source, message, channel and receiver. But source and receiver has to be on equal ground. So even if see, now this is, you can take a screenshot of this or you can keep it with you so that you don't have to every time go back. So here also very quickly everything is clear. Only thing is that under Berlo's model, you have to remember under source, message, channel, what comes. This what I said. Okay, this can be a part of question if they go in deep regarding models. Fine. So yes, now we have completed with linear. Now let's go ahead with next is interactive models of communication. So when we talk about interactive model of communication, it was a 2-way method of communication. However, feedback was not simultaneous. Though feedback component was added, but it was not simultaneous. So it provided slow and indirect feedback. Feedback was there, but the feedback speed or the gravity or importance of the feedback was not still clear. So feedback was either slow or it was indirect. So there was no clear feedback through interactive model also. Sometimes the communication can be linear if receiver do not reply to the sender. So even like for example, as I said, it is slow and indirect. Suppose if it is not only given, then interactive model will be as same as linear model. The interactive model of communication indicates mediated and internet based communication. Okay. Now this again, interactive model, if you go, interactive model also has the bifurcation. That is we have 2 models under this. One is Osgood's model and next is, the Wesley and McLean model of communication. So yours I have mentioned over here. One by one, let us see Osgood's model. Okay. Now what this Osgood model spoke about? Now again, this model is little bit different, unique to keep in mind. It spoke about that communication here in this model is not following the conventional pattern of communication. It is one which is dynamic. Now what does that indicate? It says that this model emphasizes the point that each participant in the communication process sends as well as receive the message. It means that the sender and the receiver are the same. So that's the reason it is called as dynamic, in which interactive relation between the source and the receiver, where a person may be source one moment or he may be the receiver next moment. So this is also one of the example of interpersonal communication. Okay, so like your as I said with respect to Laswell's model, so this also can be one of the example of what your interpersonal communication. Like for example, right now I'm saying something, okay, but when you reply, I'm the receiver, okay, the roles get changed, okay. So this type of model, it's not following the conventional pattern of source to channel. It can play the role of both. Fine. Next we have in this was Wesley and MacLean's model. Now this model, first of all, now this again, even this model is a bit unique, which you have to keep in mind. Now in this model, we definitely have, strong relation between the signals from the surroundings and process of communication. Okay, Yamuna, yes, let Indu tell. I'll be also happy if Indu tell. But for this, I will give you the answer for this, for your question at the end. So just remind me, okay. So yes, when we talk about a strong relation between the signals from the surrounding and process of communication, so according to this model, the process of communication begins with receiving messages rather than sending the messages. It means that, now this was the sentence which was very, very important, the last paragraph. It is not necessary that if you are receiving the signals are specially for you. The signals might have accidentally occurred or may be received, but it says that the signals may be received at any time, and any time the communication can begin. You have to be ready, because what it is, the signal is not specially only for the only meant to communicate. It can be accidentally happen. So see, here it is written. That's the reason, based on this paragraph, I have written this point, that here the strong relation between the signals from the surroundings and the moment you receive the right signal, okay. No, Neelam, it is not new. We have completed this model. Okay, we have taken this model. There is only one model which is new, which is at the end. Not one, two models are new, which are at the end they are. Okay, so this is the old only. So this model just said that, if you remember, I have given an example also for this. Like for example, if you remember, you are standing in a crowded street, okay, and you are waiting for someone, and the person, someone may be waving hand at you. You may not understand, you may not see the face, the crowd is too much. You think that your friend it is, or you're getting a signal. It means someone is waving at you just to indicate that the person is at the place, but it is not the person, the right person. It may be, the signal may be for someone. So it means that the communication for you has not yet started. So this is one of the important point of Wesley and MacLean's model of communication. Here you do not know exactly when the communication starts. The moment you receive the signal, the communication will start. Okay. Now one of the loophole of this model is where the information sometimes get modified when it is passed from one person to another. To conclude this model of communication supports the initiation of communication only after receiving the messages. The moment you get a right signal, then only it will communicate. Otherwise, till then you have to wait for this process to initiate. Okay, that is actually one of the drawback. And why? Because there is no time of receiving the signal. You can get it from any time, anywhere, but the moment you get it, the communication starts. Fine. So now this was under interactive. So let's also take let's take a review or a gist or glance of this one, interactive model. So Osgood model, it talks about what? It talks about the communication, that is when the real, which the role is played either by the sender or the receiver. So both the roles, that is dynamic. So you can add over here, I just forgot to add that process, that is, you can say it is a dynamic process. Okay, a dynamic process of communication. And when I talk about Wesley and MacLean's model, it is based on environment, okay, and personal factors. So it means a signal which you indicates it's for you, and then your communication process starts. So basically the more importance here is the environment, the social environment. Fine. And now last one we'll go for is the transactional model. Okay, I'm just sorry, today I'm just shifting the slides because I have just planned the things like that. Okay, now yes, now transactional model, what was the best part of this transactional model? Here what was not present in linear and interactive was seen in the transactional model. And what was that? The feedback which was direct and which was very fast. Now why I said so? Because in linear, feedback was completely absent. When I came to interactive, feedback was present, but it was very slow and it was indirect. Okay, so I'm just writing indirect ID. Okay, but when I say about transactional model, here the feedback was present and it was absolutely fast and it was direct also. Okay, so this is how transactional model was important as compared to the two models, and this is how transactional model was different from interactive model. So now please keep in mind, you can get any twisting form of question with the help of these small diagram. I have explained it very well. If you want, I'll repeat it once again. Basic three models: linear, interactive, transactional. In linear, what was wrong? That feedback was not at all present, which was improved in interactive. But in interactive, what happened? Feedback was slow and sometimes it was indirect. Okay, so it means if you are not receiving the feedback, you are going back to linear only. So that also loophole was improved in transactional. So transactional feedback was there. In fact, it was very fast and it was direct. Okay, so now I hope it is very clear now. Now let's see. So transactional model, a two-way process with an immediate feedback. Communication process will not become transactional if there is no feedback. So yes, if it is no feedback, it will become a linear only. The feedback is direct. I have highlighted it, and it is fast. The receiver is compelled to provide an instant feedback. Okay. The major difference between interactive and transactional is indirect and direct. Okay, that is as I said, I have explained you this point. In indirect is found in what? Interactive, whereas direct is found in what? Transactional. Okay. Yes, models in case now, if you're Joel, if you're sitting for a net examination, I feel nowhere. Now see, in the whole whether it is interactive, whether it is linear, whether it is transactional, in this there was no Newcomb model, but still the Newcomb model question was given. So that also we will see at the end. I have brought that model also. So now let's see under transactional model, what are the models which comes. Okay, so under transactional we have White model, that is Edwin White's model. Now this is new, Neelam, you were asking, no, which is new. This is the new one. Helical model, Dan's helical model we have done, and Barlund's transactional model, this is also new. So we have to see these two things. Okay, so let's first understand helical model, because we have done that model. So if you remember helical model, now this model again is different, because here the communication process evolves from the birth itself till the existing moment, till the moment you are in. Okay, now I'll give you an example. Let me first complete it. Okay, yes, yesterday I was sorry because I couldn't interact with every one of you. I understood you didn't posted anything, so it means you have started your preparation again. Okay, all the best for it, and don't worry, keep as I said to Yamuna, I'll give a small tip at the end. So helical model of communication is the one with a broader perspective, and it considers almost all the activities of an individual from day one, that is since birth till date. Okay, now it cumulates. Now this is very, very important. You can say it cumulates all the activities which are occurring in the complete span of an individual that affects the process of communication, which in turn goes forward and also depends on past activities. Now many students get confused with this sentence. What does this mean? So I'll explain you. Like here I have given an example, a child, communication evolves, which is definitely not verbal, it is non-verbal, where the child is infant and it's not able to speak. I mean to say speak, it means he's not developed his speaking ability. After some years, the child grow up, he learns a lot of things, he knows his ability to speaking is grown. So the child knows to communicate. Okay, he continues to communicate with verbal language. Now after that also, like for example, let's assume that the child has reached maybe his adolescent stage, where the communication grows depending upon the past experience. And now the current day communication continues with modification. Now what does this mean? If you remember that day also I gave you an example. Now when we take an example of ourselves or take an example of kids nowadays, okay, they have a different, I'm not saying that every individual is different, so every kid has a different way of getting the things, I mean to say, whatever they say and they want, or whatever they want, they have their own strategies, tactics of getting the things, either by crying, by howling, or by not eating. Not that not eating part will not come in the infant stage, definitely it will come in adolescent or adult stage, okay, maybe becoming more aggressive, throwing tantrums. So it will be in the child and after some years. But now, like for example, when you are crossing your 25 and you are into your early 30s or late 30s, you also, I mean to say, you have a different way of communication. Maybe you will not talk, you will be in a silent zone, you will be getting nervous, you will have some changes in your behavior, just with an intention that whatever you want or whatever you have come in, I mean to say, whatever you want to get, you want that thing, and that is how you are reacting. So that reaction will definitely, earlier it was maybe you were throwing tantrums or you crying. Now you are 30 plus or some, you can't cry, but you have your own tactics to get the things, to get it for yourself. So the things are same. The only thing is what the pattern changes from the birth till now. The communication continues, but the expressions and the behavior changes, and that is what the helical model of communication talking about. Okay. Now, apart from that, we have two models, that is White model and Brandlund's model. So let's see one by one. When we are talking about Brandlund's transactional model, it is a multi-layered feedback system. Okay. Now first let me explain, in case if you still didn't get it, just let me tell me, I'll clear your doubts. Okay. Now when I'm talking about this model of communication, it is, I said that it has what? It has a multi-layered feedback system. Okay. Now what does exactly it tells about? This is a continuous process where the sender and the receiver interchange their places, and both are equally important. So it doesn't mean that when the sender takes the place of receiver, or when the receiver takes the place of sender, the importance changes. The message passing takes place with a constant feedback, and both the parties are given importance, a feedback for one message from another. The message passing takes place with as I said, with a constant feedback provided from both the parties. A feedback is the message for a feedback for one is the message for other. So it's like, for example, this is your sender, this is your receiver. The sender sends the message, okay, the message is received by the receiver. Now the receiver sends the message in the form of feedback, but that feedback is nothing but it is what? It is a message for the sender. So there are multi layers, okay, which are seen in Brandlund's model of communication. So please remember, it is here again, it's something which we got differently is what? Multi-layer. Like for example, if you're asking me still more explanation, this model is actually based on the field of experience of sender and receiver. Okay. And definitely here it is more systematic, it is simultaneous, you can say. But at the same time, if it is not understood, if the message is not understood, or if there may be the certain codes which cannot be decoded by the receiver, then it becomes difficult. But that is a different story. But initially the message is multi-layered, both of them plays a dynamic role again and a systematic role. Okay. Yes, Vikrant, I think you have joined late. So in case if you have doubt, you can put, let me complete this first, and there are one more model which I want to complete, and then I'll come to your doubt. Okay. So now when we talk about White model, now here I have highlighted it recognizes feedback as a part of communication process. Here the author has described the process as sequential and cyclical. Okay. Now when we talk about cycle, it means cyclic in nature, following the 8 stages. Now see, this 8 stages, please you have to remember the stages very well. That is, the stages are thinking, symbolizing, expressing, transmitting, receiving. So here it goes from the sender, that is the one who initiates, the thoughts process is initiated, okay, symbolizing, expressing, transmitting, receiving by the receiver. receiver decodes it, obviously, according to that sends a feedback. The feedback, it's monitored. Monitor, it means when the feedback is given or reaches the sender, okay, the sender has to monitor the message. It monitors, it means has to understand it with the help of what exactly was a receiver or a receiver is trying to convey. So these are the stages which a white model has emphasized more on. Okay, now yes, I'll just come to your part. Let me just take this a gist first. Sunita, yours, and Shreya, I'll come to your doubt also. So when we talk about white model, feedback plays an important role with the help of what? With the help of 8 stages which are symbolized. That is cyclic form. When we talk about helical model, it gives, helical model sees communication as a circular process, no doubt, but it is, it becomes complex, why? Because maybe some habits, okay, which are from birth till till date, okay, maybe a person is 40 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old, so sometimes it is very complex to understand, okay, the helical nature of communication. And Brandlund's model, it is about the role of private and public, that is impacts, cues which impact our messages. It means that when we talk about multi-layer, so it is basically the role which is played by the sender and receiver. As I said, feedback for one, maybe message for another, but if it is not understood, the clues are not understood, if it is not able to be coded, then it becomes difficult to come up with an exact meaning of the message. Okay, therein where your communications process may not come into a positive form. Okay, so now let me take it, if depends on the past activities, it also takes into account of positive. And yes Sunita, as I said, see, for this, I told that maybe if you are a child who was very cranky, I mean to say, example of a child who was very cranky, used to throw tantrums, the child will not throw tantrums now, because the age group, the maturity level has, but the child will have a negative way, like for example the harsh way, or maybe the child will not respect the people, I mean to say the elders or with whom he is communicating. You can see the changes in the type of behavior, but that irritation, like for example when the child is since the childhood the child is throwing tantrums, the child gets irritated very soon. So that irritation behavior you can see even in the age of 40s, 50s, and by the time there are a lot of things get complicated in life. But the moment you speak to a person, like for example, every one of you must have had this experience in your life, respective life. Let us take an example of per person. The moment you speak to them, you get immediately negative vibes. Okay, immediately. So it is not that the person is talking in the in a very loud volume or a pitch or a harsh language, but you find out that maybe that jealousy, not happy attitude, that irritative attitude, the moment you speak to the person, you definitely come to know that this is not showing you the good vibes or the positive experience. At the same time, there are people, okay, who you just, maybe they are the strangers, you spoke with them just for a while, but some positive connectivity, some positive vibes can be given out from their communication process. So this is what helical model talks about. They are saying that this positivity or negativity is not instant. It is related to our past experiences, but the only thing is that the behavior, the impact may be in different way. That's all. Okay. No, that is different. Newcomb model and Schramm model, Wilbus model is not there anywhere. They are individual models. Okay, that's I have you over here. That is Newcomb model. Okay, so when we talk about Newcomb model, as I said, Newcomb model, you have to remember it very easily, because this model is not at all in a cyclic process or sender receiver. They have a very different shape of model, that is a triangular model. Now this particular model has the role of communication in society, okay, or social relationship. So when I say, like for example, sender, receiver and a topic. So here, if you remember, I gave you an example of war zone. Okay, so let us assume that A is playing the role of government, B is playing the role of civilians, and X is playing the role of war zone. Okay, but media, Okay, they are the one through which the message gets communicated, what exactly is happening. So now here the government and the civilians, that is the people of the country, have to be interdependent, because they have to collaborate and accordingly act. Maybe there, if any one of them is not able to collaborate, their things can become more worse. So that is what a Newcomb model is talking about. Communication maintains equilibrium within the social system and has to work like this. Otherwise, then again it will lead to what? It will lead to a problematic situation. That's what we have studied over here. Okay, so this particular model, this is an example which I just now told you. So this model assumes the significance in the light of people's increasing need of information. Now see, people's increasing need of information. Now here it is about sensitivity. Like for example, here people need information. Why? Because they need to understand what should be their next strategy. Like for example, even government need to understand what is going. Like for example, if the situations are worst, if they are going out of control, they should have a strategy ready. And for that, communication with transparency is important. And they need to take care of their civilians, so that can identify their problems and share or come up with the best solution. So this is how the Newcomb model is important. Fine. I think yes, this is the last part which we had. So now we have completed the entire communication unit. Maybe there are students who have joined the class, means maybe you were waiting for results and now you have started studying. So don't worry that just thinking that now how to go. Okay, so I will just give an answer for Yamuna also, and Joel has not asked me, but then still, see, first of all, one thing you keep in mind, this is not, don't take it negatively. Okay, like many of the students have cracked the examination very good. Okay, but you need to build up your own strategy. What happens, like I'll tell you why it is important to believe in yourself. Now, like for example, I know you have asked with curiosity, or you want to know, but see, everyone has their own pattern of studies and grasping power and their concentration. The thing is that like today you're asking one person, tomorrow you're asking 2%, third then you're asking 3%, 4%, and what is happening, you had made your own strategy. Okay, but the moment you interact with this person, your strategy get changed. Okay, the moment you interact with the next person, your strategy get changed. The moment you interact with the third person, your strategy change. So what is happening, if you are noting, every day you have a new strategy, which is a very wrong way to prepare yourself for net examination. That's the reason, like, and why I'm telling not, I'm not telling don't hear. Obviously you should hear it only for once. See, everyone said that everyone definitely will say that study well, believe in yourself, and actually that is right. It's not that someone does not want to give the tips, but this is my personal experience. People will definitely have their own styles and own strategy. So this is the first thing, is that you have came up a long way in your career, and that is because of your own strategy. You never hurt to anyone, and you worked and you got some magic. So believe in yourself, focus your own strategy. Okay, focus your own ways, and then things will fall in place. So now when you have a confidence in yourself, no one can stop you. One thing. Now Joel, coming to you, grasping, some has slow and some has fast. Okay, but for that also, see, as I said, one of the lecture I said, if you believe in yourself, no one can stop you. It is like your mind needs a lubrication. Today you are studying for 2 hours, and after that you come directly after 2 months. Okay, it is completely rusted. So now again you have to do oiling. You do the oiling, but then again you leave it, so again it gets rusted. So that lubrication should happen every day, and that's the reason I said very clearly that if it is not possible for you to sit for 2 hours, to sit for 1 hour, maybe you are skipping the lecture, but then make it a point that you are sitting at least for half an hour. Today you sat for half an hour, tomorrow automatically you will gain a confidence to sit for 45 minutes, and slowly after a month or two you can see that you, without any pressure, you are sitting for 2 hours. See, unless and until you do not make up your mind, no one will help you to crack your net examination. And don't sit, I said this also I told this very early also, don't sit with a heavy heart. Okay, I mean to say, if I don't clear the net, my job is in I mean to say, my job security is at stake, this, that. See, everything is going to happen in life. Okay, give a break to yourself. When you're concentrating, concentrate. See, when, like, for example, when we see our favorite movie, okay, we don't want anyone to disturb us. Why? Because we do not want to leave any particular best scene of the movie. It's same like that. If you want to study, you should not allow your mind to distract. Okay, you should be able to focus completely. So focus for half an hour, but no one should be able to capture your mind. That is what the thing is. And see, let me tell you one thing, your hard work, and definitely hard work, determination and dedication will surely answer all your sacrifices. But it may take time. For someone it is in first cycle, for someone it is in after 15 cycle. But even just imagine, a person has given exam for 15 times, still he is failing, but that person has an equal attitude of never to give up. Just imagine. Okay, take all the best example. Take an example of Abraham Lincoln. At the age of 55, he achieved what he wanted. Just imagine. There are so many examples in life. So just motivate yourself. Just believe in God. Believe in yourself after that. And just keep working. That is the best mantra and the best tip. Okay. So don't distract yourself and keep working hard. Definitely success will come to you. Believe in yourself. That is the only thing which you can do in your life. No one can stop you from anything. Okay. Yes, so never give up. Okay, I do not get that much time to come up with my motivational lectures, but okay, obviously now every 5 minutes of my lecture I will give you some motivational dose, so that with hard work you will definitely keep believe in yourself, and that can make the magic 90%. So that's what is the all in new class. It happens, Neelam. It is no worries. It happens. So don't worry. See, it is all about when you are stressed out. You just, because now if you say that you are distracted, maybe something is going back of your mind. So it's okay. It happens, and it should happen. You should vent out. If you feel like crying, cry out. If you feel like laughing, laugh out. But do that and come to normal. Coming to normal is the best thing. Okay, so yes, it's that I am not different. It happens with me also. Maybe some of my lectures may not go best. I realize it. So next day I definitely put my hard work and I come with the best. So just give some time to yourself. Even your human body is also like a machine. It also needs rest. It also needs some motivation. So be a motivation for yourself. Rest all will be taken care of. Okay. So yes, now tomorrow, this is the last day of the communication. Tomorrow we will start with ICT. Because that is the unit, because after ICT I will be starting with my MCQs. The rest 3 units will be taken by Zeba ma'am, and after ICT I will start with my MCQs and Mahamarathon. So get set ready, because we are going to go for a bigger picture now. Every day there should be a fierce competition, healthy competition. Okay, for yourself and for your classmates. Now, like, we are a family, so just help out your classmates, and knowledge increases when it is spread. So don't worry, things will be fine. Don't pressurize your mind. Okay, it is very tiny thing. Let it enjoy every moment of your life. Okay. So yes, along with this, as I said, paper 2 also we have came up with management, commerce and economics notes with 100+ video lectures, notes in the form of PDF, and practice papers, that is 5 years solved papers, mock test with after the syllabus completion with the fees of 5,000. But if you take exclusively paper 2, paper 1 will be free, and the contact detail is given in case if you want to have any queries or any doubts, you can get in touch with the given number. Sunita, very true, trust in God. I definitely, I was also not of that mindset, but yes, everything is crafted by him very well. At a right time, at a right moment, you will get everything in your life. Have patience and just enjoy your life with your hard work. Okay. Yes, apart from all this, Global Online also has Gujarat set, West Bengal set, KSET, APSET with a kit of syllabus test, PDF solution, notes, 2500 MCQs, video lectures, as well as, a full package at 999. You can again get in touch in case if you are attempting for any of these exams. Okay. And no, Vikrant, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving you. You are a part of my life now. Okay. If I don't come online, I feel I'm missing something. So don't worry. I'm here only. I will take class. Okay. And you will get all the information. So we are going to do everything. Neelam, ma'am, tomorrow MCQ on all the unit. Tomorrow is not MCQ. Tomorrow it is ICT unit. We are going to start. That unit is left. I have not completed that unit. Okay, fine. So tomorrow sharp at 9 p.m. we will be meeting with a new topic, that is ICT unit. I'm going to start with unit, and once this unit gets completed, we will start with MCQ. I hope it is very clear now, everyone. So yes, good night, everyone. And don't worry, now every day 5 minutes motivational session will happen. When you feel you are over motivated, just tell me to stop, so that I should ensure that you are not unfreezed. Okay, your refreezing only should happen properly. Okay, yes, thank you everyone, and see you tomorrow sharp at 9 p.m.